What's up, my good peoples? Welcome to the Be Transformed podcast, where we're talking about ideas that stimulate wholesome thinking into identity, purpose, vision, and action. I am James Anderson. With me is Logan Eaton and Kyle Enterman. My good bros, what's cracking?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
Hi.
Hey there.
Hi there. Hey there, hi
Hey
there,
there.
ho there.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
talking about hair here.
How's that
Mine's
suave?
getting pretty long.
Kyle's got the suave commercial going on right now. Pantene Pro V.
It's gonna man bun it soon. Did you ever have a man bun?
No.
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 Logan, did
I
you
had-
have long hair?
No, yeah, I used to,
Yeah.
but not
What's the man
straight.
bun?
It didn't. It
was-
doesn't straight up.
No,
No, it's the Napoleon Dynamite.
yeah, so that you can't really do anything with that.
I'd like to see that.
I'll get
You should just
pictures
grow it
sometime.
out. Just grow your mohawk out into
No,
the big bush.
just up here.
Yeah. The big frosicle.
I don't know if that'd be that would look terrible, probably.
Mohawkish.
That would be very mohawkish.
Yeah.
Hey, be really mohawkish.
Could be cool.
But
Don't
you
be
know,
so mohawkish.
oh,
Could be cool.
how you bros doing? How's your week?
So wonderful.
Great.
So wonderful.
Do
Great,
some
huh?
cultivating.
Wonder bra. Yeah. Yeah.
How was your week?
Oh, pretty good. Yeah,
Do you do some cultivating?
I think so. Yeah.
Think so?
I think I met some people. Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean,
Did you eat? Sorry, just trying to make conversation.
Period? Just period? He was thinking.
yeah, I ate. Yeah. I mean, you know,
While you're
Shit,
cultivating?
some good sleeps,
well,
bad sleeps,
a couple of those. Remember when
mixture.
that
Remember when
what's
we
that
lived
thing,
together?
that rat on that train or whatever? And we said if we saw that,
Oh yeah,
if you woke up in the middle of the night and saw that thing, yeah,
you saw the crane with the doll
Yeah.
operating the toy crane,
it's kind of looking at you.
driving the toy crane across your chest. Yeah, did that happen?
I don't know. I was thinking when I was a kid. Yeah. I
It
think I had
happened
some
when
of
you
those
were
weird, scary
what?
nightmares when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I used to have some weird dreams.
Mm.
But, you know, yeah, 8, all right.
So just kind of average sleeps then.
Average sleep, though, yeah. I'm going to get some good sleep tonight, though. I hope so.
Taking tomorrow off.
Yeah, I think I'm going to.
Just a long lunch.
Just like
8
like
hours.
A sick day.
Lunch from 9 to 5.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, man. I try to, meet some people each day. Even with phone calls, I think you can cultivate some stuff.
Yeah, did you
We-
make some phone calls?
Well, just people around the community.
Nice.
I'm trying to reach out to other facilities that might need services or maybe work together, collaborate.
Mm.
So it's good to have, those in your back pocket, peeps.
Build some relationships.
Yeah, you just never know who you run into, I guess. So, yeah.
Good for you.
Good
Thanks,
for
man.
you. Yeah.
Nice.
What about you, big gangster?
Just going
Just going
along.
To Georgia
Yep.
on a train
Yeah.
ride?
Yeah, I've had some good sleeps this week and
Did
some
you?
bad ones.
And some
A
bad
mixture,
ones.
yeah. It's been a mixture.
What time?
Sometimes I just feel like I sleep really light. You ever feel that? Like
Yeah.
you just sleep so light that you're.
Like you're
don't
floating?
rest. Don't wake up. Don't wake up restful.
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
like you barely fell asleep. You wake up and you feel like you barely even fell asleep.
You drink coffee in the morning, correct?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Mhm.
You got
Got a
a little
couple of
morning
those.
routine? Reading anything in the morning or a little meditation or anything like that?
Just some psalms. I think that's what's screwed me up too. My meditation time has not been
Just
what
singing
I've
some
hoped
songs.
and dreamed it would be. Huh?
Singing
Like
some songs.
non-existent?
No, I wish I could. I wish I could have a time where I just sing to myself. Yeah.
Well, remember that time I passed you in your car and you were singing to yourself?
Yeah.
I was on my bike and you were driving in your car.
Slamming his head to the death metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time you wrecked into my car?
Oh yeah.
Which time?
You literally hit my car that one night, didn't you? And then you backed up a little bit, or no?
Yeah, I just tapped it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just a little tap.
Okay, good.
just for shoots and giggles.
Just for
That's how you know you're close.
good
That was in
parking.
the winter
though.
time, right?
I don't know.
It was back in the day when
I
you
just
used to
thought it was
come
funny.
down.
It was great
I'm just
parking,
weird
though.
like
It's
that.
great parking.
I'm just a little kid at heart. Yeah.
Yeah, did you read any good Psalms? Any of those bad boys stand out?
Yeah. Yeah. Psalm 93 today. I think it was what it was. Can't really remember it though. I think I wrote something down, but yeah, it's kind of just going along. Since it's hard to sometimes get into it because you read them day after day after day, and Psalms
They all
just
kinda
gonna
sound
they
similar.
kind of keep going. And so yeah, I don't know. I think my meditation time has not been the best. I think it's because of just mind floating around. So yeah, I think not having the meditation time though really screws with your the whole day.
Yeah.
But anyways, I have been having that where the meditation time is just kind of getting compromised by other things. But it is what it is.
It is what
Times
it
about-
is.
Times a man like you wake up.
Sometimes I don't know.
6:30,
Sometimes like
7.
5, sometimes 7. Just depends. Depends
You ever
on
wake up just
what
like
happens.
looking around like, where am I?
No,
No.
not in a long time. I haven't had
Okay.
that. Do you? I mean, is that the normal thing for you?
No.
Do you ever wake up in the kitchen below your apartment? The restaurant kitchen?
Oh. No.
Do you ever sleepwalk down there and grab some cheese or something in the middle of the night?
Sleepwalked to my little kitchen and grabbed some cheese late at night.
And then took it back to bed and ate it.
Oh, yeah.
Half of it.
Yeah.
Melted in the beard.
It's almost safe not to have it in the house. Late
safe
night
for
cheese
not-
eating.
Oh.
Yeah. Late night cheese eating gets crazy peeps.
Boom.
Yeah.
It attracts crazy people?
Yeah.
Or makes
it
you
gets,
crazy?
It gets crazy, yeah.
Gets crazy.
Well,
you
you gotta.
you just get the whole block and you just start chunking away on it?
No, I get slices.
Okay.
But I haven't bought cheese in a little while. Honestly, I haven't. Now, when I was staying at my mom's, yeah, because she had all those other. I try to not have a bunch of stuff in the house that I can easily just grab, because then it makes it really easy to grab. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, man. So.
Yeah, next thing you know, you got a whole salami that you've ate. And
I did have some frozen yogurt before I came over here.
Whoa.
oh, nice.
Froyo.
Where was that at?
Lola's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yolanda's.
Yeah.
Did you just go in by yourself, or
Yeah.
good for you?
Good for you.
Did you get any toppings, or
Yeah.
just the cream?
Cheesecake, some brownie bites, and some peanut butter.
How much did it cost?
11. Oh, 7.
Did you get the
I joked with them like $16. Yeah.
Did you get the
said it was-
sherbet flavored ice cream?
I like the vanilla.
Mm.
Not a big fan of the fruity ones.
Yeah, me neither.
I like a good fruity one.
Never have. I like
Orange,
vanilla, chocolate.
strawberry.
Like the Moo Moo Freeze.
$11. Isn't that like $1 a pound? It costs.
Maybe an ounce. I think it might be close to an ounce.
Oh,
'Cause, yeah, they're like, it was like
so you pretty much had a pound of ice cream and goodies.
frozen yogurt.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Difference.
There's a big
Yeah.
difference.
Huge difference.
Don't know. Yeah, there's more calories in that than.
And ice cream.
I'm just joking.
They do have some ice cream there, but
The thing that's hard for me is that not all things go together. Some things are sweeter than others, and some things don't taste good. Good. But then you put it all up together, and then you're like, "Oh, this is gross."
Oh, it's gross.
Why do you have so many options if they don't all go together?
That's true.
Because then you put some of that rainbow sherbet on your
On
salted
an Oreo?
caramel pretzel. Yeah. Put some Captain Crunch on there or Fruity Pebbles. They got the cereal aisle,
yeah,
cookie
Man,
aisle,
yeah.
Captain Crunch, baby.
candy
You said
bar
that was
aisle.
one of your favorites, Captain. Did you like
Good
Captain
old
Crunch?
Capty. Yeah.
Man, I should just get some of that just to bring back some memories.
Just to get fat. Just eat the
Pour
whole.
it in
Just
there,
pour the milk
put it
in
on
the
there.
bag. Drink it out of the.
You can let those things soak in the milk for like
Portable cereal.
30 minutes.
Take it with you.
Yeah. You ever let them soak in the milk for a while? They still don't get really soft.
Because they're so dense.
Yeah, they're so dense, dude. You eat those without letting them soak in the milk for a while, and you're cutting your mouth up.
I think next week we should eat Captain Crunch while we do
Yeah.
while we
I'm
record
game.
it.
What do they
Yeah.
call it?
It's so
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah. What do they called it? Aldi's.
Huh?
What do they called it? Aldi's.
I don't know if they got that one.
Yeah, what do they call it?
Is there one at Aldi's?
Yeah, it's called something else though. It's called like
Baby Crisco's.
no, it's called like Sergeant Chips or something like that.
Sergeant.
Chips.
Or instead of Captain
Sergeant.
Crunch. It's called
Miniature
like-
softballs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called like Sergeant Chews or something like
Yeah,
that.
and if you eat those, if it's late at night and
Sergeant
you bring one of
Squishies.
those boxes back to your bed and start munching, you're gonna wake up. You're gonna wake up with some cuts in your mouth from Captain Crunch.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Where do you buy yours at? Someone?
Same grocery store everyone else does. They're just a
Which
really
one's
dense
there?
cereal.
Yeah.
Costco?
Kroger's.
Okay.
Just a real dense cereal.
You ever buy cereal at a gas station? Or any groceries at a gas station?
Only when I'm on the run.
Sometimes, yeah.
You remember like the little, like you could buy a package of little cereal boxes, and then you would, like they had like perforations where you could like lay it on its side, and then you could eat it out of the box.
Yep.
Oh,
Like
wow,
for
yeah.
camping or something. Or,
Dude, they come in like packs of 6.
yeah.
I do remember those.
Apple Jacks.
Except they'd always have one in there that nobody ever wanted.
Rice Krispies or
Probably.
something plain.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
cornflakes.
Cheerios or, yeah, who likes cornflakes? I'd put a bunch of sugar.
Yeah.
on that.
Unless they had
It's
the
like, I'll make those frosted. Nobody
the
panic.
sugar on them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony the leopard.
Tony knew
Those
how to
are
do
good.
it.
Those frosted flakes.
Tony the
Yeah.
Panther.
Yeah.
Dude, I had this dream the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was this, you probably haven't seen it, but one of the recent Jungle books that came out that was like real life-ish. Real life kid, but they're all, animated animals or whatever.
True story.
True story.
It's a true story. The movie.
That happened
Or
in
this-
somebody's imagination.
Mm.
No, this is my, yeah, so anyways, the Jungle Book. You know the Jungle Book?
Is
Do you know that movie
Film?
from like Disney cartoon? Animals, Boy in the
yeah.
Jungle.
And there's a monkey.
There's a monkey.
Yeah.
There's a tiger, panther, bear.
Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
think so.
Well, anyways, the tiger, the Shere Khan in that movie, was trying to get us. We were like, I was like there's like a couple series.
This is your dream.
This is my dream. Well, right before this, but this is right after something else happened.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so he came, there's a group of us, we were on these docks. He came after us. We jumped in the water. The water's maybe like, 10 feet deep and you could see him. And he like came down, but he was just like so angry that he was like just really fast. But I was like, why, he's so fast, but it's because he's angry. And I was just like, we're just kind of
He was trying to
chilling, but
get you.
he was going after somebody, and it's like we pulled his tail down and whatever.
Wow.
But then right before that, I was in the ocean. I'm trying to surf or something in this big cave, and then there was like this 6-foot shark that kept like trying to attack me or whatever. So I like grabbed him by the nose, and then I had hit him on the head a few times with a rock, and his like eyes kind of rolled. It's kind of like cartoonish, but it was interesting.
Wow.
Did you watch that jungle film before this? You went to sleep?
No.
The dream reminded you of that movie?
Well, no, it was literally that tiger.
Oh, it was the person from the thing from the
Yeah, from the movie.
Oh, wow.
It was funny.
Jeez.
And the shark was more of like the skinny shark in Nemo. When they go to the, fish are friends, not food meetings.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun dream.
Jeez.
Jeepers.
I had a dream once, but I can't remember it, so.
We can't remember.
No.
That happens.
Have you had any weird dreams lately?
Except for that one you were just talking about.
Yeah. Well, with the choo-choo train or whatever. Yeah. No.
Or you had a big Jack in the Box that popped up in the middle of the night?
But it was Logan that came out of it.
It was doing its little twinkle song, and then all of a sudden it exploded.
With cotton candy?
No, I haven't. Wish I had a couple more dreams every now and then. But no, I haven't.
You ever had a dream though where it was like you woke up? I don't know if I've had too many, but you woke up and you're like, dude, that was fun.
Oh yeah.
Like wouldn't that be something if like every time like you just went, like it was always like a fun adventure?
Mm-hmm.
That's usually never how mine go.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this one I had. I was with Bear Grylls.
Oh, cool.
We were doing some weird stuff, but that one was fun. And there's the other one where I was like in this river with these giant boulders, and it was just epically beautiful. And it's just like, man, it's like I was like, you want to have that dream again. You try to think about it and fall asleep.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
those dreams are fun.
Mm-hmm. The good ones are, yeah.
The good ones are.
The good ones, yeah.
And there's just weird ones.
Weird ones, yeah.
Do you used to, when I was little, I'd have those ones where, like, I would be falling, but then it's like, you'd kind of like land softly or whatever.
I felt like I was falling back into my body.
Whoa.
You never had that?
No.
Oh, okay. I had ones where I felt like I was being jumped off a cliff or something. Yeah, I remember those, and then I'd feel like literally like I fell back in my body.
Wow.
Serious, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you actually were standing up or something and you fell back into bed.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've had dreams where like I've fallen and felt it felt like it hurt in the dream, but it wasn't like really hurt, but it felt like it hurt in the dream.
I think as a kid I had a lot more dreams than I do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I used to have those ones where I was being chased all the time.
Yeah.
By what?
By people or
Oh,
whatever.
wow.
But I would be running as fast as I can, but it was like I was running in the pool. Like instead of being like straight up, I was like almost all like my face was like, and I'm trying to move as fast as I can, but it's just like, I was like, I know I'm faster than this.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Do you ever wake up from a dream? You're like, I'm really glad that was a dream, and I didn't actually do that in real life.
Yeah. I have a lot of tornado dreams.
Yeah.
Like the tornado, like seeing it come and trying to like keep like. Well, I think remember recent one. I was trying to go down underground more, and like every time I got to a new floor, I was still above ground, and I could still see the tornado going closer. I was like, okay, this floor will be safer, and then I could still see outside tornadoes coming. But I have a lot of those dreams.
That's funny.
Adrenaline rush.
Makes me think of Twister.
Moo.
Yeah. I've
Scrap-
always caught
like
outside in them. No, I'm always
cow
caught out
flying
like
through there.
In the
I'm
car.
always caught out outside, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I have enough time to go into shelters, so I usually just end up hiding under something, and then
Mm-hmm.
everything just explodes. But it's usually how the dream goes.
You ever been by a twister before?
Been what?
A real one?
Bitten by
Like-
one?
Like been by a twister?
Oh,
Like-
been by
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
There's been a couple close calls. I don't think I've ever seen one though. We've had some really bad storms though at my parents' house, like big hailstones flying
Mhm.
all over, some windies knocking stuff down. Have you ever seen it? Have you ever been in a twister?
I've been close to one. Yeah.
When was that?
When I was like in 4th grade.
Oh wow,
Yeah. It was like right outside our house.
jeez.
Kind of wrecked the school that we lived. The school that we. Yeah, it was right by us. And
Man.
it caused some damage over there. But yeah, things were picking up. A lot of stuff in the air, wind, all over the place.
Jeez, I think I'd be okay if I never
Yeah.
saw one.
It's wild.
Probably crazy.
It's
You ever been in a
wild.
twister?
No.
Been bitten by one?
No. Mm-mm.
Just a shark.
Just a shark, yeah. Been in some earthquakes.
What?
Yeah.
Was everything flying around? And
No. There was one time it's like the floor was like wavy.
what?
Yeah.
What did you? What's the protocol? Panic?
Under the table. Under the
Okay.
table.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Was stuff falling, or is it just kind of everything was just kind of
falls.
moving?
Yeah, it just depends.
Wow.
Yeah, no, definitely stuff falls over.
Do people get it? Like, do people panic, or is that pretty normal where you were at? Or just depends on how?
I'm sure.
Just depends on if everything's.
That's why you practice it at school. You know what I'm saying? Under the table.
Mm.
Go out, fire drill in a line, calm.
Mm.
That's not what you do in your dream.
No.
Like, take your shirt off and start screaming and running.
Yeah. Usually, usually I'm looking for something to cover myself. Or something. Trying to outrun a twister. Yeah.
So
Natural disasters.
Yeah, pretty much. Dad's on a side note. I wrote this article this morning.
okay.
I was reading in Luke, and it was just interesting. Jesus was he healed this. He went into the temple, I think, and there was this demon possessed guy in there, which is interesting. Well, and then the demon started talking to Jesus, being like, kind of saying who he was and whatever. And it was interesting. Jesus obviously told him to shut your face. Yeah. Jesus delivered the guy, but I was just thinking about the contrast of Jesus being full of the Holy Spirit and this other guy being possessed by an evil spirit. The contrast of two guys had a spirit, but only one guy was in his right mind. It's like, it's just interesting because God brings about freedom, right? God's not interested in forcing anybody to do anything, right? God accomplishes his stuff through agreement, not through like brute force. Whereas like the evil spirit will literally like take over the person's body where they become a slave, where that spirit was talking to Jesus, and the man was just,
Mm-hmm.
in the background, but his body was being used by the spirit. But just the spirit's counterfeit, right? That spirit being in the human is counterfeit. That's a malfunction, right? Which is why it, you get the story of the demon possessed boy and the father, and the spirit would cause him to kind of foam at the mouth, fall in the water, fall in the fire, trying to kill him. Yeah, so it's just like, I mean, obviously it's a malfunction, right? But its goal is to produce death. But it's like the Spirit of God comes and brings freedom. But it's like, just the contrast between the evil spirit versus the Holy Spirit was just interesting to think about, because in God comes total freedom, right? Like the ability to have full control over yourself, right? One of the byproducts of living in the Spirit is that you have self-control, right? The ability to control oneself. But being possessed by an evil spirit is like you have no control. And it's just it was just interesting to kind of look at the two and just see, what the counterfeit looks like and what the real deal, like how it actually brings liberty and freedom, right? Where it's like, being born again, you get the keys to the car, with unlimited fuel, with a destination and a reason to go there. But it's like this guy, but somebody who gets possessed is like the keys get taken by force and they get locked in the trunk. But yeah, just thinking about like just the reality of like the freedom that is in like the original intent of God, of him in us, because we were created for him to be in us, right? In all the fullness of the deity lives inside of Jesus. Jesus said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. There's this connection that is natural, right? Like we are always to be connected with the Spirit of God. And so, but that the evil spirit obviously being the malfunction, but the idea is that you're always to be connected in the Spirit, just not a jacked up one.
Interesting.
Yeah. Your dream just made me think of that one. But yeah, tonight I thought we'd talk a little bit about clarity versus frustration. And those two go head to head. So, just as we've been talking about all these things, living on purpose, made for earth, discover the vehicles that you have and figure out, you come up with ideas on how to use them and take action. But I was just kind of thinking over, because it's a process, right? Everything we're talking about is a process. And as I was just kind of thinking about the process, I was thinking about frustration and how at different stages of the process, I've found myself kind of, sometimes being frustrated. And I was just thinking, what actually causes frustration? And I kind of came up with three things. And so one is that you get frustrated if you don't have an idea, right? You got this sense that there's something more to life, but you're not really sure what it is, right? And so you're kind of like, who am I and what the freak should I do with my life? And that kind of brings about frustration, right? So frustration comes when there's lack of clarity. So, which is a really good indicator, is that if you find yourself like frustrated with like, what is happening? How come I'm not doing anything? It's because you lack clarity. So one is that you don't have an idea. You're not sure what to do. You got the sense that there's something about life, but you're not sure what it was. The next one that can bring some frustration is that you have an idea. You're like, you see this picture, you have this dream, you see this potential, and you see all these things you could do, and you keep dreaming about it. But then, it's like nothing's happening. And that's because you have an idea, but you don't have a plan. So lack of clarity on what to do creates frustration. Well, then there's another one where you have a plan or you have an idea and you've created somewhat of a plan, but then you're not taking action. So you have an idea, you have a plan, but you haven't figured out how to actually start getting into it. Mm-hmm. And just that lack of clarity where maybe that plan's not totally tweaked, and it's just like you keep picturing it, you keep thinking, okay, I got to do this, I got to do something about this, but the days tick away and you're like, what the freak, right? And it still goes back to this lack of clarity. Like clarity is literally the key, to help you take action. And the lack of clarity is the quickest way to frustration and the inertia mindset, which is where you just stop and do nothing. But clarity, vision, right? These things are the things that produce action. So, yeah, I was just wondering what, as you guys have been working out your visions and just whatever, maybe in life, like how have you, tasted these different stages, and then maybe what stage are you? Do you find yourself in one of these stages now? But yeah, so maybe the first question we'll go through is, how have you seen yourself? How can you relate to any of these stages?
Yeah. Definitely. Well, I was just thinking. So, I think there's definitely ups and downs. That's for sure. Because I know, if you were to ask me where I was at 6 months ago, I had the vision, the plan, and I was really gung ho about it, and I still am. But I can admit I've gotten lazy at times or not done as much as I could to get the results that I've wanted. So I don't know what stage that would be exactly at. But just bringing those up, it kind of makes me think. And yeah, it definitely can be frustrating when trying to figure that out, or just kind of sitting in that, well, what's the next step? Or I should, do some more work on that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, a little frustration because I need to put more work into it.
Do you know what kind of work to put into?
Well, so I don't know. I think I mentioned finding some kind of facility. I don't know. And I thought this was a perfect location, and that facility sold. I don't know to who, but it's not on the market anymore. So I guess there's some discouragement with that. So if I look at it, it would be continuing to find connections, and I think I can find connections where I'm at my current employment. It's just making sure I'm using that time wisely to do that. So putting forth more phone calls or efforts to talk to more people about what my interests are.
So you feel like the property is the next step?
Possibly, or maybe the property's already there, just in a smaller spot. About, Bowling Green area.
Do you know what you would, like, do you have a system in place that once you had the property you could plug and play, or you still got to create?
Still got to create some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, all that fun stuff with that.
Yeah. Do you feel like that would come, like, do you have an idea of what that would look like, or how to create that, or where to find that? Or
it would take definitely some collaboration of some people to find. Yeah, you'd have to find that's where I'd need the assistance of some other people to try to figure that stuff out. So if I had a piece of property, I mean, I'd have to figure out specifics on what zoning is and who can reside there, and then that would probably be the first thing to do. One of the first things to do.
I almost feel like the property is almost one of the last things to do.
Get the property last.
Almost. Well, because you'd have payments.
Yeah.
But if you're still don't have all the
stuff.
All the stuff that goes into it. Like, I mean, if you had your systems, if you know what to do, if you had the license, you figured out what licenses you had to have or whatever, then you don't have like that constant bill every month while you're still trying to figure all that stuff out.
It's true.
But you know the people who to go to for The collab?
Still working on it. I think they're coming into my. I think they're presenting. I think it's coming to fruition. I mean, I think a lot of it's there, or I've already met them. It's just putting the footwork into setting up individualized and doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think, even I know a lot of people who probably have skills and gifts that can be beneficial for sure. Yeah, it's just a matter of doing it.
Yeah.
For sure. So, yeah.
Nice. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I was stuck in the second one for a long time.
Idea but no plan?
Yeah, like the vision, no plan.
Yeah.
Stuck in that frustration. And then I think in college, I was stuck in the first one. No, because I tried to, the vision that I had, I just kind of wanted to bypass. I just wanted to get rid of it. I didn't think it was feasible. So then I was stuck in the first one where it was like, no vision, what do I do? And it was that frustration of like, what am I supposed to do, or what should I do, or what can I do? And then I think kind of getting out on my own, kind of went back into the second one, was back to the original vision, and then more recently back to, okay, now here's the plan, but no action. So I think that's been the most recent until probably this year.
Yeah. I can definitely remember just kind of kicking it in the basement a few years back, just kind of getting into the cycle of like, who am I and what the frick am I supposed to do with my life? Kind of like, I know who I am, but it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, but again, it's like, it's the lack of clarity that brings about the frustration. So it's like, when you find yourself, because that's vision, right? So if you find yourself in that frustration, then it's like, all right, we need vision. So the work that needs to take place is like seeking out the vision.
Yeah.
Right, which just looks like, busting out some 12 minutes and you just consistently, like, just seeking it out, thinking about what do you like to do, or whatever, just thinking about, all right, I need that first idea. Because which that was definitely a process.
Yeah.
For sure.
For the BT stuff?
Well, yeah. Well, so before it was like, I had my handyman business, and during the winter times, pretty much just like pressure washing, it was just, it would pretty much die out. And so I just kind of be like, man, maybe I should do something else in my life, or, like, what am I even doing? And so, yeah, just trying to, I'm like, all right, maybe I just need some vision with the job or whatever. But yeah, but it's just like, yeah. So, I mean, it took some years to come up with the BT stuff, but it's just like having the idea, seeing my gifts, but then kind of, maybe being afraid of them a little bit, like seeing that, all right, man, it's like, I've got this desire to teach and to speak and to train and do these things. But, being like, man, I don't know how that would even work. I don't, it's like, what kind of platforms are there even to do that in? And yeah, so anyways, but kind of having an idea, having a sense, but then also having some fear, and then not having any idea how you get into that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, getting into BT, it was more just like, we've got the idea, and then it was just like, all right, let's just commit. Let's commit to doing our first BT class, and, and it was taking action and this and that. And we've done that a couple different times, but there's been times where it's like, man, what should we do? And we're like, all right, let's just commit. Let's do a BT class. And then that put a goal out there that necessitated action. But then it's like afterwards, it's like, okay, what now? Like, what else are we doing? Like, what are we? Whatever. And so, recently has been where we kind of figured out, like, all right, here's what we are. And that's just continuing to take shape. But yeah, I think, the plan's coming more and more together, but it's like, I just keep feeling like when I do the daily cultivation, I do my daily article, I put the date on it, and I keep seeing these, like, every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we're almost at the end of April here. It's just like all these days keep ticking by, and I'm just like, what do I have to show, for like these days gone by? Like, what have I produced? What's the proof? What's the proof? Like, the actual proof, like, prove it. You're going to do it. Prove it. Yeah. And so I just keep thinking about this concept of, yeah, like, I mean, I'm working it out and I'm doing things and things are becoming more clear, but I'm just finding that it's like, I kind of keep getting these senses. It's like there's plenty of time. You just have to use it.
Do you ever think back though? Do you ever think back like over the winter, over the last couple of years, and almost like not to like try to be easy on yourself or anything, but like look back and see everything that you have done, like even just the little things that add up, and just realize like, or just I don't know, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but like just realize like, no, I can belong here, and I having the confidence to be like, no, I am prepared to do these new things. I've studied it. I've talked to these people. I've set up the meetings. I bought the equipment. Whatever it took. Do you ever just look back and just and feel like that confidence, or like maybe tell yourself that confidence of like, no, it's been a couple of years and it's felt like I haven't done anything, but all these little things have added up to where like, no, I can be here. I should be here. I'm justified to be here. 'Cause I don't know. Sometimes it feels like, yeah, you're not doing anything, or you're not like, I don't know. You're not like
making progress.
You don't belong there, yeah, or you don't belong in the space that you want to be in. But I don't know. I just think that maybe sometimes it's good to just think back at all those little things, sure. Not to like get off track or like just be like, okay, I think I've done enough, but like.
Wait, what did you do?
But like just remembering like all those little things and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it just gives you a confidence, gives you a drive to just keep going and keep getting into more little things turn into bigger things.
Sure.
Bigger things. But I don't know. That's just what I've kind of been feeling that lately and thinking about that when you were saying that.
No, for sure. I think for me, like, I feel like I look at it and I see, no, man, like things are happening. It is coming together. I am having thoughts that I, like where it was just an idea, and now it's kind of getting a little bit of framework, and that is taking time. It is taking process, but then it's like still, but like there's this, it's very kind. There's this kind, but it's a nudge. There's this kind nudge that's like, dude, like you have to wake up earlier.
Yeah.
Like if you we're just talking about like your quiet times or whatever. Sometimes like I'll read for half an hour, and it's like after half an hour, I'm like, I just feel like I'm just getting into it, and just into reading and stuff. And it's just that concept of like, dude, there's plenty of time. You just need to use it differently.
Yeah. The voice in my head, it's more of like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not that calm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's that commitment, like you talked about, and discipline to do it. Very important, I think. Kind of just even talking now just brings up like, man, I could have contacted this person, or maybe next week I need to sit down with this person, and just like stuff like that. Because I've been, when you have those thoughts like, man, I should do that, or why don't I do that? And then you're like, oh, no, I don't want to, nah. And it's like, I think that's when you need to do, like, really,
sure.
Not maybe do everything, but try to really, like, at least one of those things, because I was reading in one of those, I was reading Miles's book, when you talk to God and go up, to, and this life, you're gonna see all the opportunities that were presented to you, and you're gonna be like, dang, you know, like ample more than enough opportunities, like people, whatever things are placed in your way that, you know, it's so easy to be like, well, you know, we don't need to look at that right now, or, you know, you're going to a meeting tomorrow, which is like great, like, and, you know, it's like we get these, and I don't know, it's easy to run away from or just disregard them instead of like taking advantage of them. So I think I'm gonna make a commitment to call at least one person that I think could be more beneficial and meet with him next week sometime.
Discipline and responsibility. It's tough though. Sometimes when you, I don't know, it's tough sometimes because a lot of it depends on like just, if you're not strong mentally and emotionally, discipline and responsibility usually don't show up. Like, I've had times where it's just like, the mental and emotional state are just so low that it's just like, I don't even feel like doing anything right now. But it's just those times where you gotta like force yourself to keep making little responsibilities and little disciplines. But it can be easy just to over time lose track of that. Like you said, getting up earlier, making sure you're having that time like setting that meditation time as top priority as part of like the vision that vision feeds off of that meditation time and all that. And I don't think I've done a very good job of that in the past couple months, but it's always good to have like conversations like this where, you know, like, I could probably wake up a half hour earlier, get some better meditation time, because that's what fuels all this stuff if you're going to be successful and great. But
yeah, I mean, I've been just, you know, I had a couple 12 minutes. So I had a 10-minute, 12-minute, 12 minutes for 10 minutes. But yeah, they've been like, one, I was coming downstairs and I just felt like I saw a notepad and I was like, oh yeah, I should grab a notepad, which isn't like normal. And so I just kind of sat down, and then I think this idea came from it, and a couple other things came from it, and then it was just like kind of these things were flowing. And then the next day, you know, I did it, and there's a couple more things flowing, and it's just like just kind of finding like that time of just literally just sitting and being quiet and just listening. It's like I'm finding like stuff is some strategy is flowing kind of concept, or just like some framework is coming out of it, or just, you know, like I got this idea for this fundamental living class. And so, you know, I've got the intro, you know, be a multi-session class, but I just like started getting the intro for it ready and kind of looking at the structure. It's just very basic, but it's like, but that was like, you know, it was good though. It's like, you know, stuff's coming together.
But it was the meditation that brought those ideas, brought those thoughts, right?
I think so, yeah.
That
and the meeting I had earlier.
Oh, okay, sure.
But yeah.
But the meditation gives you like a period to like have actually cultivate that stuff, that stuff. And I think for me, I think lacking that meditation is kind of just the emotional stability and mental stability decreases when you don't have that meditation to actually cultivate those ideas or those things or whatever.
Because otherwise you're just busy doing crap.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't take a hot second to just chill out.
Right.
Just think. Because again, sometimes you could just get busy, but it's like, so priorities, right?
Yeah.
Because this comes down to priorities. So especially when we're talking about, okay, we got purpose and we got vision. We got some ideas. We have a plan, but like it's hazy, which is why we're not taking like concrete steps daily. It's because it's still not crystal clear. Crystal clear is like clear steps. This is what I'm doing. This is when I'm doing it, you know, whatever. Yeah. So priorities come in with just like, all right, you get a list, right? And you're just like, okay, out of like, so there's this story in this book I was reading, and I don't know what this is back in the days, But there was some guy, some Schwab or something, steel manufacturing or whatever. He talked to this consultant guy who was, I think, well known, and he said, "We know what to do at my company, but if you have any ideas on how we can do it better," he's like, "I'll listen to you, and then I'll pay you whatever you want within reason." And so the guy was like, "Sure." He's like, "It'll just take like 20 minutes." He's like, "Get out a sheet of paper." The guy got out a sheet of paper. He's like, "All right, write 6 things that you need to get done tomorrow." Wrote those 6 down. Then he's like, "All right, then number them in sequence of importance." And so he did. Said, "All right, well, when you get to work tomorrow, pull that paper out and start on number 1. Don't even look at the rest of them. Start on number 1 and don't look at any other ones until you finish it. Then once you're finished with number 1, then go to number 2. And he's like, don't worry that if just work until the day's done, but don't worry if when you get done with the day, you've only got through 1 or 2. He's like, because you got the highest priority done and there's no other way you could have done it. So it's like, so then you go down the line. And so he said, try this out in your personal life, and then when you're comfortable with the method, then use it, teach it to your peoples. And so like a couple weeks later, the steel guy sent the other guy $25,000 in like a note that said, "This is the most profitable advice I've ever gotten in my life." Yeah, and it's just this concept of priorities, because it is so easy to get so distracted and so spend all your time doing the secondary things and always overlooking the primary things, the most important things, the things that are actually going to yield the fruit that you want, that's actually going to bring the benefit. It's actually going to fulfill your dreams, right? We'll overlook those things just to get, because these secondary things, just the normal pattern of life. Right? It's like, because it's easy to just continue to go through the motions, but if you don't start working in your plan, this vision that you have, even though you have a job, you're like, I've got this vision. It's like, okay, I got this job, but if you don't start working on the vision, if you don't have a crystal clear plan, if you don't take action, then that dream will stay a dream and won't become a reality. So it's like this concept of priorities is real interesting.
I think speculation is the most frustrating thing for me too. When you're constantly speculating things instead of just speculating the outcome of something, speculating how things would work out, and instead of just doing something to actually figure it out or moving forward to actually have to make a decision or have to know the answer, you're just constantly speculating. I think that's the most frustrating thing that I've encountered, where you're just constantly speculating what could happen or what might happen, and you just don't even know without. It's really something you can't know until you just do something.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most frustrating, because then if you don't do something, you can just stay in the speculation all the time.
Sure. That's where all your focus is.
And not knowing the answer drives you insane. But you just constantly speculate to try to know the answer. But you really ultimately don't know the answer until you get into something and do something or make a decision or I don't know, start moving somewhere.
Yeah.
But speculation's the most frustrating, I think.
Yeah.
For me.
I think that's where commitment comes in, because commitment says that regardless of the amount of time, the amount of cost, or the obstacles faced, I'm going to reach it, right? So it's like, it doesn't matter how many properties you have to look at, because you're going to find one, right? It doesn't matter who you have to talk to, like you're going to accomplish what you're setting out to accomplish. It doesn't matter if, you talk to a couple people and they say no. It doesn't matter, because those people don't dictate your end. They don't dictate your vision. They don't dictate the thing God put inside of your heart on purpose so that it would be realized. So I think when we just make a commitment that says, this is what I'm doing, and you go all in, right? You focus. I was listening to this podcast and he was just talking about this just being laser focused on your goals and your dreams or whatever. And just like, he was just talking about, it's like people grossly underestimate the human ability to focus on one thing for extended periods of time and to get really good at whatever that is. It's just like, yeah, so I mean, to speculation or to whatever, it's just like, if we recognize that the outside circumstances don't dictate the realization of our dreams, right? Like it doesn't matter what you face because you're not going to stop. Then it doesn't really matter. So then it's just like, all right, well, because instead of putting all that energy into speculation, it's like, how can I put that into what's the next thing I need to do and do it?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I was thinking about this concept of, so, you're talking about discipline, right? You got these ideas, you got some plans, but in some of those stuff just straight up takes discipline, makes phone calls, takes writing some stuff down, whatever, for me, it's like, creating some sessions or whatever. Yeah, he was just talking about how, like, you go to the gym in this podcast. He was like, you go to the gym and you know that it's going to be uncomfortable. And I was just thinking about this concept of, like, so I've worked out since like the 5th grade. And so, you'd go for a while, consecutively. And then whatever, in high school, I'd go through this phase where I'd work out 7 days a week for like 4 hours a day. And I'd go for about a month and then I'd burn out and be gone for a month. Anyways, but like, so I was just familiar with this concept of not working out for a while and then getting back into it. And so there's just like, there's a little bit of a pattern that happens there. It's like, so when you start getting back into exercising, like your first day is good. Like it was fun. It was good to get back into it. You're not getting all bent out of shape that you can't lift what you used to lift and your muscle memory's all jacked up or whatever. All right. So, but maybe the second time or the third time you go back and you're like, dude, this is super uncomfortable. It's like you're getting a little mad that you can't lift the same weight, that your muscle memory's all wonky, and it just gets real uncomfortable. But if you stick with it consistently for a couple weeks, you start to gain endurance, right? And so it's like in that mode of like, this is uncomfortable, like don't even focus on like, like I'm not trying to max out, or I'm not trying to burn out, or I'm not trying to go crazy. I'm just trying to show up. Just show up and do something. Like do a lighter set, do a smaller workout, just show up. And then show up again, and then show up again. And because you keep showing up, you start to build endurance and strength. And so, but he was just like, this concept of the gym, like we think that's normal. But then when you get into life, you think, oh, this is uncomfortable. Like this must be wrong. Like this must be the wrong path, But he was just relating that to, that's the same thing in life. So we're all feeling, it's like with this discipline thing, it's like, no, it feels uncomfortable because you're not used to it. So, but that means you're going in the right direction. It's like, just show up. Even if it is just like it's like a 12 minutes or it's a half hour. Maybe you don't even write anything down, but it's like you took time to, like, you're taking consistent time to get clarity. You're taking consistent time to try to write something, to try to create the framework, to try to create the business plan, to create the whatever. You're taking that consistent time, but it's just like, just show up. If you just created the discipline of showing up, even if you doodled on your paper for 20 minutes, like you showed up to do something, right? You're thinking some thoughts. You're getting your mind in that direction. But it's just like, it's instead of running from it, because sometimes I'll think, I wanted to write that Change the Way You Think book, and which I already have all the content for it, but whatever. But it's just like, it's in my mind, I just have these weird thoughts that causes me to want to causes me not to take any action. So it's like, yeah.
I don't know. I was gonna say anything. But yeah, I can relate to that. No, sure.
So maybe a big thing to focus on, or is to get into the discipline of taking action or getting uncomfortable. And it doesn't mean like, go crazy and, I don't know, make a commercial or something like that. But like, put the footwork into doing those things that you're like, I don't know. Like for me, at least, like definitely there's things I could be doing that aren't like crazy, like, but I think God's kind of like, come on, like let's do it. Like I'm waiting, he's not going to take my hand and force me to do anything, but if we're here, might as well go big, go bigger, go home,
Or go bigger.
big, go big. Like, I mean, real big. Because the options are, there's so much potential, even in the area we live in, Toledo area, Bowling Green, all that, to really make a huge impact for our lives and also the people who live. And then from them to learn these things.
I like
it's like that what's that game? Tetris or whatever?
Wheel of Fortune.
Frogger.
Where like, you build, like, it's like one thing and then it builds on it gets bigger.
Oh,
and
that's Jeopardy.
Exponentially builds.
No,
I don't think so. It exponentially builds. But, yeah. Anyways.
I have no idea what that is.
yeah,
Minecraft?
yeah.
Chess?
Yeah.
Checkers.
It's either Uno
I don't know what game it is.
Backgammon. Mancala.
But we have the potential to do big.
We do. We do.
And ample time to do those things. At least I do. Ample time.
Like just
no
like
kids, no marriage.
Sure.
And I'm sitting here on
You're
my
guaranteed to
phone,
live till-
twiddling,
Yeah.
needling away. Got my computer screen up, and I'm
Typing away.
trying to order more cheese on Amazon.
yeah.
I think you're gonna at least live till 94.
I don't care if I live till 43, as long as I put my name on something.
Get something done.
You better live a little longer than that then.
Put my name on something.
Gosh, you only got 1 year till you're 43.
35 now. I'm the oldest one here, fellas.
Oh man, was it already your birthday? Did you
I'm
already
gonna
birthday
stamp
it
my
out?
name on something for the future generations.
You just want me to get you a stamp?
Kyle Intaman, yeah.
We could do that.
No, but I was thinking about that. That's one of my meditation. I'm like, I want to like leave here, like making an impact. I don't need to like live forever, but you gotta accomplish this. You know what I mean? That fight, like, to go get that bad boy.
Yeah. Yes.
And with Logan's help and your help, we can all do it together.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's where like the action plan, the action team. What? The action group.
Yeah.
Action group. Got it. That's where the action group comes in. People used to have these accountability groups where like, hey, let's talk about all the things we're struggling with. Yeah, we don't do that here. We talk about what the freak have you actually done, and I'm going to punch you in the nuts if you say nothing. Like, how are you taking action? What is your plan any clearer? In Jesus' name, let it be clear.
Right.
But yeah, it's like the concept, though, where you get together and all the crap that you're scared about, you just put it all on the table.
Excuse me. Frozen yogurt.
Jeez.
That was 15 ounces right there.
Gosh.
Whoa.
We're going to have to edit this now.
It's PG-13.
Oh, wow. Start over.
Oh my gosh. What are we talking about? The power team? Action group. Action groups.
Yeah, things you're afraid to do.
Yeah, you bring those, you put them on the table, and you sit there with the other
set it
people,
on
and you all
fire.
just do all the crap you're scared of. Or it's like maybe what's scared to you is not scared to you, and so you take mine, I take yours. You know what I mean? It's like you just whatever it takes to move forward, freaking move forward. Yeah. I was thinking about time though, and how time just doesn't give a flying fortress like how you use it. Like it doesn't care. You know, people talk about time management.
Yeah.
You know, time will keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
No
use
matter
it however
what.
you want.
Right.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get any back.
You can sit and eat whipped cream and surf on Google all you want if you want to. But you ain't going to get that back.
What kind of whipped
Don't
cream?
do it.
Like heavy whipped cream?
Yeah,
or
the heavy
like
whipped cream.
Cool Whip?
Yeah. The real heavy stuff.
Maybe on vacation, but that's it.
Yeah, totally. And that's fine, you know. Take some time away for a little bit. But gosh,
Unless
darn
you
it,
haven't done anything. then
unless
do
you haven't
something.
done anything, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you better
Then you better
Bust out some-
percolate.
12 minutes. Yeah.
Percolation.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, it's just interesting. Time just really could care less how you use it.
It's
Yeah, I
really
like the-
fast
I
too.
like, I like the priorities though. When you just write down, even if it's just one thing, what you could do today to get it
Yeah.
done. Just check it off.
Yeah.
6 things or one thing. Just write something down and get it done. 'Cause then you're moving forward.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna utilize that, involve that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get involved in that.
Mm.
I'm gonna put it on a piece of bread and rub it all over my shoulders. I just want to get involved
right on
in
my
it.
kneecaps.
That's too involved.
That's a little
But it'll
weird.
probably happen.
Right in the
Yeah.
elbow
Well, I know
bits.
what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Eat some cheese.
Well, yeah, on top of that.
Eat some cheese on top of the bread.
Get
No, I
something
mean,
done.
I got
priority.
I got a priority. I'm going to make sure I reach out and make sure I do. For one, I'm going to make sure I get some meditation in.
Yeah, me too.
Make sure I get some physical exercise in.
Mm.
Ditto.
I think that's helpful too, to get some of the brain juices going, and then make a text to someone that I need to.
Just anybody.
Just forward a text to everybody in your phone. You gotta fill in that hole that I put in the wall. Yeah, I like the priorities though.
Yeah.
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 And it helps to have people.
It's got to be crisp. Yeah,
Peeps
but you
with
got to know what
peeps.
to do. But then I've also heard it's like, you know, sometimes we worry about the stuff that we don't know how to do, and we don't do the stuff that we do know how to do.
Yeah.
Like the steps that you can take right now that start getting you towards your goal, towards your journey.
Yeah.
You know, is it waking up earlier? Freaking shut your face and do it.
You know how to do that.
Shut your pie hole and do
Yeah,
it.
I kept like, I'd wake up early. I'd wake up just naturally at like 6:30 but then I'm just so tired, and so I just go right back to sleep. So one day it was like, I was awake, and I was like, okay, now that I'm awake, I'm gonna put my alarm clock on, because I know at night I'm not gonna do it because I'm tired and want to just sleep. So it's like, whatever it takes to just get up and be like, nah, dude, I gotta freaking get up.
Yeah.
But I've also heard just a little tip that they said, you know, if you normally get up at 7 and then you try to get up at 5, like then you're gonna like want to take a nap at, you know, at 2 or 3 or
Yeah.
10 minutes after you wake up. You know, but so it's like if you wake up like 15-minute increments, like, so if you wake up at 7, wake up at 6:45 and do that for like a week or two, and then do 6:30 for another couple weeks, and then do, you know, 2 in the morning. But you know, I was listening to a Miles, and he's just talking about like going to bed at 4:00 in the morning, and he's just, because he's like,
he was so dialed in.
he's just like, dude, you can't you can't do all the research you need to do for all these books and just go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I've heard both ways too. I've heard people that are just working all night and then they get up and just this is the whatever they're doing is just so sustaining that they get back into it. A couple hours of sleep and they get back into it.
Yeah.
Not like all the time, but like when you're in something. Yeah, but that's not been me though. It's definitely not been me.
But
yeah, it's also the point where it's like, okay, if you're gonna do something, and I don't think I'm at the point where it requires. I think there's gonna be some times where it's gonna require it, where you're just working, you're just in it, but you have to get stuff done. Like if Miles was writing that book, like that was he needed to write that book, and he only had a certain amount of time. Like the preparation phase, I don't know if you do 20-hour days on the preparation phase, but you might have a couple 20-hour days when you're actually doing what you got to get done to do, whether it's your studies or your for school, or like your BT class where you actually have to prep this material, go to these places, take a long flight or something like that, or just I don't even know, like being out in the field for 20 hours just to get something, to get what you need to get done. So yeah, I don't know. I've heard it both ways too, but I think there's just that, it's smart to be healthy at the same time.
No, for sure. I'm not talking about going crazy, but I'm just like, it's just interesting to hear people who produce, like, and what it took to produce said. I've heard some people, it's midnight to 4 a.m. and then it's back in it just to get into it. But I want to be there where it's like you want to get up so bad just to get into it, just to get going on stuff. Yeah, well, I think that's when you start picturing it all succeeding. Yeah. And you stop picturing it failing or running into roadblocks. Yeah. But even if it's just like, all right, half hour a day, right? Which was more than before, is progress. Like you start working in some discipline, or 5 days a week or something like that. If you take the time to sit down, to think or to process or just, to hear, it's like that stuff will work. There's a story of this guy back in the 20s-ish, 1920s, like during the Great Depression. He owned a lumber yard. And there's maybe 5 companies, and his company was like he was making millions while everybody else wasn't like doing nothing. And but he would go, and I think he was saying like he would sit down for like 4 hours every night and just think about what he wanted his business to be like in 10 years, and then he'd start doing those things like now. And it's like because he sat down and he thought about it. He had ideas, and then he put those ideas into practice, and it produced epic value. So instead of just getting caught up in the day-to-day duties, right, he's picturing the future. Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Because it would be easy to just get caught up in like, well, this is just my life, and this is it. No, what do you want to do? You need an idea that's bigger than right here, right now. Yeah, but just that concept of really creating strategy and creating a plan. But like the key ingredient is that your strategy is only useful if you use it. It's like, because it's like, for us in the vehicles concept, it's like, all right, I've got an idea. We've already kind of taken some amounts of action. It's like, all right, it's easy to just not do it though. It's easy to get emotionally involved, take a little bit of action, and then lose your drive, right? So that's like going back to the gym after it's been a month, and day one is good, right? You're excited, you had some motivation, you finally got there, it was fun, it was good. And then it's like, oh, I got to go again. Well, I'm tired, I feel fat, it's hard to tie my shoelaces, I don't, whatever. But just show up. But it's super easy to then not show up. It's really easy to get excited, start to take a little action, and then stop. But you can't. Because go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like, yeah, like when you don't give yourself an alternative, maybe, or like your future depends on your preferred future depends on it. Like if you don't give yourself an alternative, it's almost like you need to start. It's just I don't know, just need to start taking it. It's like don't give yourself an alternative. Like okay, I'll just work this 40-hour job, and it just that's good enough. And you might have these great ideas, but it's like okay, it's easier to not get into it because you just keep going into the thing where it's like 40 hours a week at this place, it's good enough, whatever. So, but like if it's almost like forcing yourself into action when like your future almost depends on it, or your well-being depends on it, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. That maybe that's kind of kicked me in the rear end a few times.
Yeah, I heard the concept where they're talking about like, there's like the scarcity mindset or poverty mindset or something. It's like where you're always kind of worried about what the price is, but it's like successful people, they don't worry about the price, they worry about is it worth it. And so when you think about like getting into your life, they ask the question, is it worth it, right? That we talk about that where you create some vision, you got some, it's mixing with your purpose, you count the cost, is it worth it? If it is, successful people make the decision to commit, and then that's done. He says, but people who don't commit, they continue to barter the price. They're like, is it worth, like every day, is it worth it? You say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym, right? And you go to the gym once, but now you don't feel like it. You're like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's the wrong idea. Maybe I just shouldn't do it. Like you constantly barter the price. But when you've made a decision, now you're just managing that decision. So if you said on these 3 days, these 2 days, I'm going to the gym, then whether you feel like it or you're not consulting your feelings. You're consulting the decision you make. Those are two different things. You consult your feelings, and man, my feelings are like, again, it's just you get emotionally involved, and then that fades away. And then here's kind of what's for me. It's like, all right, well, you get emotionally involved on one idea, all right, and you work on it for a little bit, but then you get this other idea, and you get emotionally involved in that idea, and you're like, okay, what about this? And then you're like, okay, and then you think about the first idea you had, and you're like, oh, but now you have this other idea. Now, well, I don't know what to do. And then you get another idea, and you're like, oh my gosh, now I've got, but even if all these ideas are good, it's like, okay, well, now what do I do? And that's where like the priority list comes in. And it's like, how do you focus on one thing and just get it done? Don't worry about anything else. Just get this done. Finish this. If you want to get to that, then finish this, So it's just that concept, because that's real. Because I think sometimes, in there's something in me for a couple different things where it's like, I think I've been scared to commit for whatever reason, just thinking it's going to be, I don't know, hard or whatever. But it's like successful people who get stuff done are people who commit and then take action. They don't consult their feelings. They consult their decision. And that's what commitment is, right? Because commitment gives no room for, there's no exit. There's no out. There's only through. Over, around, to through. You got to commit and manage your commitment. Don't consult your feelings.
Make priorities.
Make priorities. Because it's interesting, because when you start thinking about priorities, you're like, well, I don't even, it makes you create somewhat of a plan.
Priority one could be, what do I want to do?
It sure could.
Answer that question.
Yeah. Absolutely. But in the meantime, go back to the vehicle podcast and discover your vehicle and go use it, which that could be just shut up to me. Why don't you do what you're talking about, buddy boy? Done.
In it.
To
win
bet.
it.
Bam. Happening.
We're going to make big things that are going to grow exponentially, like the board game you were talking about.
Hotcakes.
Like the what board game were you talking about earlier? Hungry Hippos. I think that was the game.
Figure it out.
Good enough. Exponential growth, just like that game.
Yeah. Like
Yes.
Minecraft,
Yes.
mine, or mine,
Exponential growth.
whatever. Yeah. We'll take some of that. Harvest that produce 30, 60, and 100 times more.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, somebody. My good peoples, if you find yourself frustrated with life or just in the process, it's because you lack clarity.
Get some clarity, peeps.
Seek clarity. Take time daily, whatever, a couple times a week. Get intentional with seeking clarity. That's becomes priority number one. It's clarity. Get you crystal clear. It's freaking possible. Let's just say that. We're not created to live in the fog. Faith is not blind. Faith comes from knowledge. You have to know what it is that you believe in. Come on, somebody. In Jesus' name, until next time. Peace.
Peace.